Hello, welcome to episode 167 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard, and we
And
are joined by.
I'm Kokobella. Kokobella. Hey.
Hello, everyone. Stevie Wildcard and I get together every week and we talk about our various issues and things that go on in life, like get in the way of our making books and such. This week we're joined by Kokobella, who has an incredible podcast about fitness, fashion, finance, and life. I think I nailed it.
Yes. Yes.
So you also, in addition to that, have a business called Crazy Closets.
Right? I do.
Oh, yeah. So first of all, welcome to the show. I know you're kind of thrown into our chaos here. Before we get into it, we tell the people where they can find you and kind of a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am Kokobella and I'm the owner of Crazy Closets. And like you said, I also have a podcast. It's on YouTube and it's called Bella Talks. You can find me on YouTube. And also on Instagram, it's Crazy Closets _2.0. And then you can also find me on Facebook under Kokobella or my government name, Aqualia Watkins.
Wow, you are just doxing yourself. You're just giving all that information in on Facebook. This is impressive.
No. To be fair, Anthony and I actually use our full names on Twitter, which I guess is a no-no. You're not. Twitter is supposed to have alternate names, but my full everything is on Twitter. So
I didn't expect, of all places, I didn't expect to be successful on Twitter. I was like, oh yeah, I could use my first and last name. No one will care. No one cares what I have to say. And then people are like, oh, this is the only social media that anyone cares what you have to say. I'm like, oh, cool. Cool.
And I cannot get into Twitter. I tried 3 times and it's just I can't get into it. I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you what worked for me is I just dove into a little niche, you know, I was I like to write. So I was all right, I'm going to focus just on my writing stuff. I'm only going to talk about my writing. I'll make little jokes. I'll talk, just be as personal and just say whatever my issues are, you know, and then make
right.
about it. And I was at first I was doing hashtag writer and all that stuff, you know, and then I was all right, but the hashtags weren't really doing anything. So I stopped doing it. But people who wrote started commenting on it. And then I'd follow them and I'd comment on their posts about writing. And then,
right.
You know, so it was just following that one thing. And then from there, now I just post about whatever the heck I want. People are just oh, he says silly stuff, you know?
Right, exactly. Now, did you find it easier to build a following on Twitter versus other social medias?
I did, yeah. I did. I don't take a lot of pictures, so I'm not great at Instagram. You know, I don't TikTok. I'm way too anxious for it. I'm bad. I'm so bad at TikTok. I swear to God. I almost want to make a whole TikTok channel of me trying to make a single TikTok. That's how I feel.
Go viral. You should do that.
That's how I feel. Because I don't know, are you on TikTok?
I am. Okay. I am on TikTok.
So when you make your TikToks, what is it like when you talk? Do you do one take and you're done? Are you
absolutely not? It's almost like a whole job. You have to set up lighting and you have to have a camera crew. I asked my mom, Mom, can you do this in the background? It's a whole thing just to make a 15-second snippet.
Yes. Okay, that's exactly how I feel, and that's why TikTok drives me crazy because I'm just I just put an hour into me saying this thing for 15 seconds and I kept saying it wrong. And I'm right. Oh, I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad, you know? And it's I never felt I was doing it right. So I give up and then I go back to it and I give up and I go back to it. Steven, on the other hand, posted one video and blew up.
Or temporarily. So I have a husky and when he was a puppy, he howled. So I posted that and oh my God, it had over... I can't remember. It was over 100,000, 200,000 views or something and so many likes, yada, yada, yada. And I wrote that wave for a smidge, but I got the followers needed to go live though, which is cool. I have over I think 1,300 followers on TikTok.
And that's what you need. You have to, then you get to go live and then you can pretend you're a robot or whatever they're doing over there now. They're
pretend you're a robot.
Well, they do that NPC.
Oh yes. The NPC thing where you're hello.
Yeah.
Not into all that. I post my little stuff and I keep it moving.
it's so wild that like they're doing that. They're like, we're so afraid of the AI overlords and like the robots taking over. And the people are just like, we'll just be robots. We'll just be whatever.
Don't let them take our jobs. We'll take their jobs.
We'll take their job. It's crazy.
So you brought up your mom and working with your mom. So when we met you, you were with your mom, right?
Yes, I was.
So I did want to bring this up a little. I want to get your perspective of that situation of meeting you, because for me it was funny walking around there and like meeting people and stuff. So like, what was it like for you to have me as a weird random guy coming up to you and like talking to you about podcasting and stuff?
So I don't think it was weird and random, because I think the atmosphere that we was in, it was pretty much that is the norm.
Okay, cool.
So
I've never been there, so
take it as that. Now, if we were like on the street and you would come up to me, I'd be like, "Who is this guy? And what are we doing?" But I mean, but everybody there had some kind of common ground, and they were all doing their thing. So just being in that type of environment, it was just like a good vibe. It was a good feel. So it wasn't out of the normal that you came and talked about your podcast. Absolutely not.
Good. That made me feel better. I needed to hear that. I needed you to make me feel good. No, but I do want to know, like, so we met you. You were there. You're selling. I saw socks, like all kinds of.
Oh, I sell a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And you had like your phone set up to do interviews like in the moment. You're talking to people, and I can see like you're super. I mean, you come across to me as super confident and like you're ready to do what you're doing, and you seem like you know what you're doing.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing, so every day is pretty much like a new adventure, and I just kind of take it and be like, let's start the day, and what are we going to get into today? That's
awesome. Like I love it. Just improvise our way through.
Like it took a long time to build the confidence, because I would not, if you would have told me that I was going to be here maybe 5 years ago, I would have been like, you're lying, because I'm very much an introvert, and my mom's like, stop saying that, but I am by nature, and I really don't like to be out and approaching people. But I mean, I built the confidence to do it because I'm like, this is what I want to do, so I have to be this person. So this is like an alter ego.
For sure. Yes, Steven and I like definitely relate to that. We talk about that all the time. I mean, part of the reason I don't go on TikTok and stuff like that is I don't love being on camera. I don't love doing this stuff. Like we started this podcast as a way to just have a conversation with us about like working through the books. So we were just like being productive. Let's, we're friends. We've been friends since high school. So it's like easier to talk to my friend. I'm like dipping my toes in, like learning to talk to strangers. Really. I'm like, here we go. I'm going to do my best, but yeah, I mean, you're faking it till you make it, I guess, and you're doing great.
Dropped all the talent points into charisma and everything. It was just like hitting the ground running.
Right.
So I do want to ask, how did you get into podcasting, and like, what is your goal? Like, what's the dream for you? What's it look like?
So it wasn't a really like, oh, well, let's do this and this and that. Literally, I'm going to tell you, I woke up one day and I was like, Mom, we should do a podcast, because we have so many people in the community that are being slept on, and I want to be their voice.
Yeah.
So she was just like, okay. So we ended up
best mom ever.
Right. So we ended up getting like the first interview was like can I cuss? It was like a shit show.
Yeah.
So the first interview was a shit show. Like literally stuff was falling in the back of us. It was just like hilarious. So the person that I had on there, she took it like a champ. She was just like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. And in my mind, I'm like, this is my last podcast. I'm not doing anything else. But then once I edited and put it out there, it was just like people were like, oh, I want to be on your podcast. I didn't think it was going to grow. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. I was just like, okay, let's put it out there and just see where it goes. So I didn't really have a plan. It kind of grew into itself.
Yeah, you kind of just developed like what your podcast is as you're making the podcast instead of doing that's basically what Anthony did, and what we ended up doing is like we could spend months in researching and figuring out how to do this, or we can all just learn together and kind of just exist until we find it, basically. So
right. And I think that's the best thing. Like experience is like going through it is your best teacher. You can read and and do all the things and research, but you're still not going to get it, and you're still not going to get your feel of it until you actually do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can always improve it as you go. You can't improve nothing. If you never do anything, there's nothing to improve,
You can't just sit there and think of hypotheticals and how you'd improve those hypotheticals.
And that's like perfection's a killer, like it's like the enemy of good, like it's, we'll keep going. We might not be the best, but we're going to be better and better as we go.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And that's all I think about is just like, how can I be better than what I was yesterday? I'm not trying to be the best because there's nobody perfect. So I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of that though, so our show, so every week we get together and we always we end up talking about a lot of my crap because Steven has a perfect life. Steven's great. He's 10 out of 10 life would do it. Like, 10 out of 10. He's nailing it on all aspects. I'm a mess. Like my whole life, I'm a mess. No, but we talk about like our personal stuff. Like we don't talk about a lot of big issues. We talk about our personal lives most of the time, and that's we try to relate to people, and we try to work through whatever was going on day to day. Like what's the kind of stuff like with your podcast or with Crazy Closets or whatever? Like what kind of issues do you go through? You're a parent, right?
I'm a parent, so I have 2 kids. But the good thing about that is they have phenomenal fathers. So they've kind of helped with this journey because they're seeing what I'm doing. So they're like, oh, I'll take, the load off and I'll do this and that. So it's not the stress of the kids. It's more now the stress of living into this entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, doing Crazy Closets, are they going to receive this style that I'm trying to put out here? Are they going to receive this look? With Bella Talks, are they going to receive what I'm trying to do as far as talking about these topics? Just in life, it's almost like and then some people, because I have a clothing line, when I go outside, they feel like I should be dressed up like a doll. And that's not the case. Like, I am a human being, and you're going to see me in these sweatpants and this bonnet.
I feel that.
I have places to go, and I don't have time. Yeah, but so that's that. It's like I live in a beautiful chaos. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just the anxiety of is people going to receive what I'm putting out into the world?
So what kind of things do you do to try to help people receive, what you're putting out in the way that you hope to?
So I don't really do anything. I just kind of am true to myself. So I definitely am like, this is me. Kind of take it or leave it, because I know I have an audience out there. And I just feel like when you try to manipulate yourself into what people think you're supposed to be, you're not going to get that true audience that feeds off of you. Now you're in a hamster wheel, because now you're trying to figure out, okay, what's the next thing, instead of just what you want to do and how you want to do it. So I never go into like, well, what should I do? No, I'm going to be true to myself, because then I don't have to take pills to go to sleep.
At the end of the day, that's like, and that's kind of been like what we push too, is that we're not trying to be somebody we're not. We're just literally basically selling yourself to the world. Like, this is who I am by me. Like, this is what I want to be in the world. So like, that's honestly awesome. Like to put that out there. That's the only way to be, really. Like, it's impossible to keep up a facade for that long, like.
And I feel like people that do that, like, really, and I feel like that's where depression comes in at, because like we're talking about, it's a lot of mental illness going on, and I think social media has a lot to do with it, because they're living in this fake world that they have to keep this image up for society, and then it's almost like you can't look yourself in the mirror, because this is not really you, but you got to keep up this fake I'm not doing that. Like, you're gonna get what you're gonna get, because I want to be able to, live in my truth and live in my purpose. I'm not going to live like nobody else. I don't care if you think that I should be doing this or I should be doing that. I'm going at my own pace, and I'm going to be myself doing it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. and what you're doing is awesome and impressive to us, at least. So will you tell us, because I have a couple of questions about like the fashion stuff, but will you tell us a little
Okay.
bit about Crazy Closets a little bit?
So Crazy Closets, believe it or not, actually was starting off as a closet like renovation. Like I wanted to be on like HGTV. It
Okay.
wasn't really supposed to be fashion. That's why I was like Crazy Closets,
Okay.
because I was pretty much like organizing closets. I wanted to build new closets. I wanted to basically like go in your home and just tear your closet and make this big one. And it's just like, ta-da.
Yeah.
Then COVID hit. So people were doing the social distancing, the lockdown and everything else. So it kind of took that and just like, yeah, that idea is gone to crap. So my mom was like, well, you like putting on clothes, you like fashion, you like keeping up with that. I'm like, well, I do, but you know, I don't really think nobody's going to accept like what I put on. So she was like, well, you should just try. So I'm like, okay. But you know, every mom's like, oh, my baby can do it. So I'm just like, whatever. But I did it. We kind of put something together. The first thing that we put out was a flop. I think we like sold nothing because like the emblem and the label was like trash. And then we kind of went back to the drawing board. And I was just like, okay, around that time it was like October, November. So I'm like, sweatsuits. So I put it on a sweatsuit, and then I posted it, and everybody like, I want one, and like, boom, here comes Crazy Closet. That's how Crazy Closet was born. It was just basically off of like a wing and a prayer.
Yeah,
everything is a wing and a prayer.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Like, your mom seems so incredibly sweet and supportive. I love that so much.
She is like the neighborhood grandma.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, but she is so like sweet. Everybody's grandma.
Oh my gosh. But okay, I do want to ask, because like, so Steven and I, we make comic books, and I write them, Steven draws them, we both kind of like work on the whole thing together. So when I'm like trying to come up with characters, and I'm pitching them to Steven, I'm like, all right, this is this character, she's kind of like this, she kind of has this style. Sometimes I'll describe like actresses or like someone in a movie or something, but like we're not great at coming up with like clothing for people to wear, so I'm like we're over here like Googling, I send him pictures, I'm like, maybe like this but also like this, I don't know, so like
he wants me to add more than t-shirts and jeans to my repertoire, and I just don't understand what he's asking of me. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like, you're using a lot of words right now, stop it, slow down, scientist. And I'm like, okay, not just t-shirts, jeans. But
I gave this villain cargo shorts, we're good. Okay.
Villain cargo.
The cargo shorts allow for a lot of weapons, all those pockets. But no, so okay, so we just wanted to ask you, like, what are some things that you wish you could see, or like what would you just like to see in like movies, or like like what would you like to see characters wearing in movies that you just don't see a lot of?
Ooh, I mean, so my style is more of like that old school classic where it just kind of never dies.
It just lives throughout the generations. It
lives throughout generations. Okay. So it's just like, if I was to have like something in a comic book, like a villain, there'll be like, it would almost be like Cruella de Vil-ish.
Okay. Ooh, like over the top, like elegant.
Like over the top.
Maybe some like, furs.
Yes. And with like, everything's just like very well posh put together, but she's just a devil.
I love it.
So when she walks in the room, she owns it, but she's like, you don't want to cross her path. That's what like my ideal, like for like comic book or like villain or something like that. Just very timeless and just well put together, but you just don't want to
fierce but timeless, like having like basically being tethered to earth still, but it does have some like fierceness.
It would be like Kokobella. Yeah. That's what it is. She's Kokobella.
Kokobella.
She's Kokobella. Steven, you have to draw Kokobella now. I'm sorry. It just has to happen.
I'm gonna have to add Kokobella to the Deathless universe.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna have to draw Kokobella.
This comic in particular was easy enough though, because the group of villains ends up being the main character's friends, who are all kind of like your like typical like goth kind of kids wearing what you would see they would buy at Hot Topic is basically the wardrobe I threw onto them. So it wasn't too bad. I think I nailed a lot of their outfits personally.
It's I mean, Hot Topic is a look, so I'm not taking that away from you. Mm-hmm.
So I just
that's kind of like when I was writing, I was like, okay, we have one like in our new book, we have one scene that's like 1980s. It's these kind of people from the 80s. It's easy,
right?
No, they have a style already. We don't have to come up with this,
right?
Spiky hair and Misfit shirts with some chains,
like,
and
here we go. Yeah,
and the girls have on the pleated skirts, plaid with the suspenders,
and big hair,
and big hair. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to color that hair. It's
just a big poof.
All right. So Koko, it's been awesome talking to you. So at the end of all the episodes, we kind of just talk about like what we're gonna do this week. Like what does your day-to-day look like for your podcast and for your business? Like what do you do day to day?
So I kind of have a schedule, and for me to, stay strict to my schedule, it keeps me sane. So Monday through Thursday, I work. So I kind of just keep it very much just work related, working home so I can still have some time to myself. And I do lashes. So Thursday night, I will be doing lashes. I have a podcast on Friday, and then Saturday, it's pretty much just kind of open to where I'm just going to be, editing and doing stuff like that. And then, of course, Sunday is church. So
awesome.
Yeah, your editing is really fun. Like I was watching. Oh my gosh, this actually reminds me, and I'm so glad that you said this. Okay, I just have like a quick request from you, and it's stupid, and you don't have to do it. I'm giving you an out. Like you do not have to. There is no pressure at all. But it would mean a lot to me if you would do the hip hop air horn sound for me. Like, do you know it's like. Okay. So I was watching your podcast. so I'm watching. Okay, so this is me eating my lunch, watching Koko's podcast. Like you imagine, like I've heard the air horn sound a million times, a million songs. You hear that, like you hear it. So I've heard it a million times, right? When Koko does it, she sounds like Beethoven, like bum 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 bum. And it slayed me. Like I can't tell you, I watched you do that like 6 times. I'm eating my taco, and I was just like, rewind, bum 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 bum, rewind. It's just like, this is amazing.
In my head, I'm actually killing it, but yeah, when I hear myself, I'm just like, you sound foolish, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
Oh yeah, don't change it.
No, it made me. I can't tell you. It made me so happy. I like that interview. Oh my god, what was it? DJ Crash.
Oh, DJ Crash.
Yeah, that interview was really good. He was a great guy. He seems really cool.
Yeah, he is
like
awesome.
But both of those guys were great. But like that. But like that was so funny. It was so it made me so happy because it felt so authentic. I was just like, oh yeah, this is her. I love this. But yeah, it was 100%. So everyone go watch that. Go watch that interview because it's good. It's informative. It's supporting the community and also hilarious Beethoven hip hop air horn.
The 8th Symphony is what we're gonna call it.
But it was so good. I'm so glad. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
No, but your show is fun. I love that you're supporting the community. Steven and I, we like, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people locally who are doing what we're doing. So like, we try to support like the comic book community and writing communities like online.
Right.
A lot of people online, but like, we love having you on. Like, you're a local person, and also obviously you're a podcaster. You're trying to do fun things and interesting.
Of course, exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool to have you on. So we just tell the people one last time before we get out of here, like where they can find you and like what you have to offer.
So you can find me again on Facebook, Kokobella. You can find me on Instagram, Crazy Closets _2.0, and on YouTube, Bella Talks. So go on Bella Talks, hit the notification bell to subscribe, and go over to www.crazyclosetsandmore.com for the merch.
Amazing.
Awesome. I love it. So, but thank you so much for being here and joining us and talking with us. I hope it wasn't too weird. We, kept to your stuff. I think it was fun. Steven, you have anything else you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
Oh yes, of course. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in every week and loving on us and supporting us and buying our books and backing our Kickstarters and just being awesome friends. We love each and every one of you.
Steven, we forgot one more thing. What are we doing on Wednesday?
Wednesday we are packaging up and boxing up every Kickstarter pledge for Deathless issue 2. So
everyone's going to be getting their books in the next couple of weeks because we got everything. We have our buttons,
everything is here.
Our comics, we have our stuff. So everyone,
posters.
Everyone who showed up to support us, thank you. You're going to get your stuff. Thank you for waiting. And it's totally going to be worth it because Steven's going to sign both of our names on every book, and I'm going to just sit there while he's doing it.
I got pretty good at your signature.
You did. I mean, that was impressive. Just so you guys know, there are a couple of books out there that Steven signed my name, and they're going to be worth a lot of money one day.
Are they rarer?
They're more rare than any
other.
He's
like, are they more? They cost less, or is it?
Do you have the real Anthony signature variant or the Steven Anthony signature variant? Who knows?
AI. It's AI.
Yeah, that's true.
AI.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, we're just gonna get rid of me altogether. Steven's gonna do everything.
I'll just use Chat GPT to generate scripts. And
that's true. But, oh no, Steven's realizing he doesn't need me. But thanks again, Bella. Thanks again. We really appreciate you, Koko.
I appreciate you for having me on this awesome show. Thank you, guys.
Of course. And you have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, have a great evening. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you for following us. Make sure you follow Kokobella and all of her stuff. Subscribe to her channel. Check out Crazy Closets and support where you can. It really means everything to us. Thank you again. We'll see you next week. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And I'm Kokobella.
This has been We Have Issues. See you next week.
Boom.
Steven, have you seen this Wile E. Coyote situation that's happening right now?
So, I know barely anything, but I randomly came across a quote tweet that was talking about it, about how Warner Brothers is going to allow other studios to distribute it or something. I don't understand.
Okay, so supposedly there was a full mixed media, half animation, half live action movie about Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Coyote suing Acme products for their terrible products. And it was written or co-written by James Gunn, and John Cena's in it, and it's this whole thing, and it seems through and through like an easy win for everyone. Very least, Warner Brothers, throw it up on Max or wherever you're throwing all your stuff right now. You're gonna get a lot of eyes on this. You get the nostalgia people who want to see Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, who are in my opinion, two of the best characters. It's the best grouping of characters from Looney Tunes. Of course,
absolutely,
you get Bugs Bunny and he does his fun stuff, but Wile E. Coyote is hilarious. Wile E. Coyote's situation is always funny. It's a silent film over and over, always works. To add that with to make it Roger Rabbit-y, make it work, why not? It sounds great. Dude, so they're saying oh, we're gonna bury this. And then, first of all, I find that hard to believe. They're oh yeah, we're gonna spend all of this money on this animated movie. We're gonna make the whole thing with John Cena, pay all these people millions of dollars, and then we're gonna bury it. We're just gonna bury it completely.
For burying you.
I'm burying you for some kind of tax.
I'm alive.
So they're shoveling dirt on this thing for supposedly for some kind of tax write-off. And people are finding out because they're filmmakers and stuff are oh, we worked really hard on this and now it's gone. And now apparently they're oh, you know what? We might try to also sell it to some other distributor who isn't us. Why? What are you talking about? This sounds made up. It sounds like this Ugly Sonic debacle. It sounds like this is all just smoke and mirrors to get promotion for this movie. So we all really want to see it. And when we eventually get to see it, they're you were right, but we get all your money.
Maybe there's something to do with they just weren't sure society was ready for it that moment and they wanted to still profit on it. This
hard-hitting Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner.
We need to wait for world events to go really nuts.
I guess just about it's like
either
pure
that or
pandemic politics, like the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Like Wile E. Coyote bought a mask that didn't work properly from Acme.
Oh man, like there's like this. We gotta cut it, man. Well, no, we can just cut that scene. No, we can't. It's pivotal.
It's pivotal to its character development.
The movie's called The Golden Mask. I mean,
oh man, but yeah, I don't know. It's so suspicious, and I don't want to be like, oh, conspiratorial or whatever. But like, why? Since when? Since when is this happening? This is a new thing. Like this whole like Batgirl. Like they're like, oh yeah, we made a whole Batgirl movie. Michael Keaton's in it and everything. No, 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 no. No one can ever watch it. We're gonna bury it. What? It's not even like an NFT thing where someone can eventually steal it and give it to us. Like, what are you talking about?
it makes me wonder if it has something to do with, something we're not even on the pulse of. Like if you write it off on your taxes as a flop, maybe you have so many years before you can actually release it. Or
okay, so okay. I was thinking about that, and like, Steven, think about this for a second. It feels like they're dipping their toes in the water of making full movies with AI and then not releasing them for tax purposes. So think about that. It's no overhead. There are no actors to pay. It's all AI, right? So they make a movie with AI, say it costs some amount of money, just, because who cares? And then they get tax write-offs. And then they can do the same thing they're doing now, but they don't have to pay anyone. And they don't even have to really make a movie. Like right now, if Wile E. Coyote or Batgirl never existed, it's like the moon landing. Like we would never know. And legally, they could Warner Brothers could hire those actors with an NDA. Be like, here, you have a non-disclosure agreement with us. If you ever bring this up, you owe us a huge amount of money, which will benefit us as much as this movie would have anyway. So like,
it's on the contract clauses, baby. That's how we get our kickbacks.
That's right. No, so think about it. So it's like, so if like, let's just say they never make a movie, but they pay an actor just to say, hey, can we use your name in this marketing? Yeah, sure. Here's your NDA on this. Yeah, you're part of this movie now. And then they say they never make a movie. This guy, made some money with a non-disclosure agreement. But now there's no movie, but they can make all this money from tax write-offs and say that there was this inflated budget that never existed. And if anyone says anything about it, they get the money anyway, right? Like, so it's like, it could very easily be true. And I don't put it past super greedy, crazy corporations. Like it's weird.
It's how they do business.
It is. I can see it. But I do want to see this Wile E. Coyote movie. But now I'm like, I don't want to be manipulated, Stephen. I don't want to get burned again. I don't want, I hate that. It's
you got me. Okay. You completely own me, and it sucks that you owe me, but I still want to watch this movie.
I watch this dang movie. Well, what sucks is I would have been the perfect audience for this movie anyway, is the thing. I love animated movies. I love animated and live action movies. I love John Cena. I love Looney Tunes. I love James Gunn. I love all of these things. But I don't love being manipulated. I don't like being manhandled. Oh, okay. She got back to me. Let's send her the link. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know if it's real. We'll see. Let's see. Invite. Copy link. You copied the link. It didn't say that. I know that voice sounded awesome, but it was just me. All right, let's see. Let's send her this link. Okay, paste. That's not how you do it. I hit the wrong button. Well, I deleted our podcast.